Listen, you probably don't want to hear this, but you could have had abs a long time ago. The problem is every fitness influencer always overcomplicates and under explains what actually matters when it comes to getting lean. Now, I spent over the last 12 years since I was 15 years old in the gym, and only about a year ago I was able to get the body I was chasing this whole time. And if I only knew what I was going to explain in this video way back then, I could have saved countless years, effort, and most importantly, time in the gym. So in this video, I'm going to break down how I went from a fat, overworked, burnt out gym bro to honestly a guy who spends minimal amount of time in the gym, eats basically whatever I want, and is still able to have the body that I've always wanted. So my hopes for this video is if you watch this all the way through, hopefully you can follow in my footsteps. Now, one of the biggest things that I struggled with when I was younger, I had a lack of long-term vision. Now, when I was a kid, I was very overweight. I was about 220 when I was like in 7th grade, right? Which is ridiculous. I was a humongous kid. And I remember watching all these videos of like the transformation videos. And I remember how much I wanted to do that, right? I remember going on summer breaks and being like, oh dude, when I come back, I'm gonna look completely different. I'm gonna do all of this stuff and go back and everybody's not gonna be able to recognize me. And I remember I would watch these videos and I would obsess about it. I would literally every day just obsess about losing the weight. And it got to the point where I was watching these videos more than I was doing anything else. And I was going to the gym, then I was eating healthy food. And basically it got me to the point where it burnt me out of even wanting to lose weight in the first place. Now, why am I bringing this up? The place that was coming from was I had a lack of patience. I wanted the weight to be gone tomorrow. I would do a workout and I would work my ass off because I was so motivated. I would go to the mirror and look to see if I looked any different. And of course I didn't, right? That's not how weight loss works. So for anybody who's been in that same, loop of they are in the gym and they keep waiting for the result to happen. Weight loss is a long-term habit. It's something that you change for your life overall. So if you're going to be doing that, you want to make sure that it is sustainable. Your workouts, your diet, your lifestyle, every single part, you need to be able to do that every day. On your worst day, would you still be able to hit the gym? On your worst day, would you still be able to do the cardio? On your worst day, would you still have the habits installed of you to eat healthy, which is the most important thing. Patience is going to be a key mindset piece when it comes to losing weight, because if you're not willing to wait those extra 1-2 months on top of what you already planned for, then the chances of you falling off are pretty high. So just an action step, if you are thinking I want to lose 30 pounds and you're predicting it's going to take you probably about 5 months to lose that, I would say add about 1 to 2 months on top of that, just to give yourself more time to actually diet the right way. Because what's gonna happen when you try to diet fast like that, you're gonna cut your calories more than you need to, you're gonna do more cardio than you need to, and you are ultimately gonna burn yourself out, or the weight loss is gonna stop altogether. Now, onto the first point. If you want to make it easy, just sticking to the same foods. I eat the same breakfast, the same lunch, the same dinner, just about every day, with minor tweaks here and there if I get bored. If you're somebody who needs different type of options when it comes to food, find 2 to 3 different types of foods that you like at certain times. Try to find different variants of foods that you like, that you know are healthy, and that you could somewhat eat every day, that you generally enjoy. You do not want to eat anything that you just do not like, because at that point you're just not gonna like it. Again, it's supposed to be easy. So with that being said, I also eat at the same times every day. You want to create a schedule around eating. When you create a schedule and a habit out of eating, you no longer, after about a few weeks, you no longer have to think about it. It's just ingrained in your schedule, in your process from day-to-day life. So you no longer have to put any actual effort into figuring out, what am I going to eat today? Or where am I going to eat? Or how many calories is this? Or all of this stuff that adds extra complexity to your diet. When really, when you eat the same meals, you know how much you're eating, you know what time you're eating, you don't have to think about it, which is what's gonna make it really simple to get lean overall. And these are basically the big 3 of what actually helps you lose the weight. And the second of the big 3 is the actual workouts themselves. People really overcomplicate working out. They think because of this culture that we have of hustle culture, where you have to grind and you have to work in order to see results, your body does not work like that. Your body is a system which runs, and if it gets damaged, too much, your body is you're gonna be tired, you're gonna be lacking in energy. There's gonna be a lot of things that you're gonna notice in your day-to-day life that spending too much time at the gym is going to hurt you. With that being said, I recommend do not spend more than 4 days in the gym a week. And that's at most an hour to an hour and a half in the gym. The reason for this is your body needs times to rest. And under resting is the number one reason why a lot of people cannot get the body that they want. They listen to all these fitness influencers who are in the gym 5-6 days a week, and they tell people that that's how they work, that you just got to rest 8 hours a day and you lift 6 days a week and you will be fine. The lifts that we're doing are extremely heavy, right? You do not, especially when you're cutting and getting lean, you do not want to not be lifting heavy. You are going to lose all the muscle that you gained in the meantime of those years of work that you put in the gym. You're going to lose all of it if you are not lifting heavy. So for every set that you do, you are doing it to basically failure. This is going to be every set that you know. This is going to be chest. This is going to be all compound movements. You're doing it basically to failure, that it is safe to, right? I wouldn't recommend if you don't have a spotter to do squats to failure or anything like too dangerous. But for the most part, everything should be done to failure. This is going to make sure that you can maintain the muscle, and if not even gain muscle, if you're even losing weight the right way, the proper way, and the really slow way, you can even gain muscle while doing this. So you need to be doing at most 3 sets, right? I sometimes even do only 2 sets of like 6 reps, but these reps are extremely difficult. The most amount of gains that you get in the gym and your life is going to be when it hurts the most. So those first 2-3 reps that you're doing that are like, they're hard, but they're not too difficult, those are the reps of just barely warming up. The reps that actually matter are going to be the reps where you are struggling, where you are like pushing your hardest. When you are in that set range, keep in mind in your head that this is when the gains happen. So do them to the best of your ability. Even if you don't think you could do more, try to do more. Even if your form isn't perfect, because that's where the gains are really going to come from. When I started doing this, for things like my arms, for my chest, for my legs, within 2 weeks, I noticed a huge difference in my muscle build. Just simply standing there, I can feel how big my muscles gotten from doing this. And this is contrary to everything else that we've been told in the fitness industry. They used to say you don't want to overload your muscle. You don't want to overwork it because you have big body parts and they need time to rest. So if you do that, you cannot go to the gym 5-6 days a week. And they're right, you can't. But you were never supposed to spend 5-6 days in the gym in the first place. 2 to 3 sets per body part. Basically, you want to hit every body part 2 times a week. Make sure you're hitting to failure because that is where the gains are going to be coming from. And the biggest reason people struggle with weight loss or even just getting a proper body that looks good and muscular is because they just simply overtrain. And it is just because we are ingrained in a culture where overtraining is the norm. And people don't call it overtraining because really that is what it is. So if you could just undo the load, and it's gonna feel weird. The first like week or 2 that I was doing this, I would only do 2 sets of like a really heavy leg press or really heavy squat. And I felt like I didn't do enough. But it's okay because guess what? The next few days, because I was pushing those just about to failure, the next few days, my legs were killing me. And it told me as soon as a couple weeks later, when I saw the muscle growth, I instantly noticed that I was not overtraining, that is what's the proper way to work out. So just to recap, you want to do no more than 4 times a week as far as gym workouts, right? That's upper, lower, or you could do 3 times a week of full body. And then every set that you do is going to be just about to failure. Now that we're at the end of the video, this is going to be where most people have fallen off. But if you stuck to this part of the video, this was the key when it came to me actually losing weight. And again, it came down from what? Fitness influencers giving us the wrong information. Now, I don't think they did this on purpose. I think people just say what they think works. And from the best guess that we could, we thought that running and that high intense cardio would actually work. But that's actually the opposite of what works. Now it's all about low intensity cardio. That's walking. Some of the easiest cardio that you could think of, slight incline on a hill. for about 20 minutes a day, 3 times a week is enough to burn and shred fat like crazy. The reason this works is science-based. With high intensity cardio and things like running, it puts your body in a state of, it raises your cortisol, which is your stress hormone, and it basically makes you keep and hang on to all the fat because your body goes into fight or flight mode. When it is no longer in a fight or flight mode is when it's able to actually take a chill pill and burn the fat that you want to burn. But whenever you push too hard and you're doing sprints and you're running and you're doing all these high intense interval training that I was used to be told worked like a charm, you overwork your body. Again, you overwork your body, you get extremely hungry, and you basically hold on to all the fat you're trying to lose while burning your muscle, which is the opposite of what we want to be doing. The answer to this is low intensity cardio. That is walking 10,000 steps a day. That's walking uphill for about 20 to 30 minutes a day. It's very simple and very easy to do. You could watch TV while you do it. You could be on the phone with a friend. You could talk to your buddy while you're there. You can do all types of things. And the reason I feel like this never would click with the fitness industry is because it was too easy. It never fit in that hard work of hustle culture. Same thing with the lifting, same thing with the eating. We've just been pushing our bodies too hard. So with all that being said, if you implement all 3 of these things like I did over the last year, you'll be able to get the body you really want. Don't train so hard. Train intensely, but don't train all the time. Don't overwork your body. Rest. Eat simply. Eat the same things all the time. Eat at the same time. Eat the foods that you truly love. Stay in a caloric deficit. And then cardio, low intensity is king. Low intensity is actually going to make you lose the weight. So if you put all those things together, if you do that properly over the next 5 to 8 months, you are going to get to exactly the body type that you wanted to get to. And if you guys need any help with that, go ahead and shoot me a DM over on Instagram and I'll be happy to help you guys with it.